Ladies and gentlemen, what's good, YouTube? It's Jay here. We're back with another reaction on the channel. Yesterday I didn't upload anything because I've just been kind of having a little bit of burnout. I run 3 YouTube channels, 2 TikTok accounts, an Instagram account, and I've been posting things everywhere and streaming Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I'm just trying to kind of keep track of everything. But today we're going to be reacting to Derby Days Sevilla, the big one. And Sevilla is pretty low in the La Liga table. They are 6-9 right now, but I've seen this name passed around many a times. And we can't pass up a Copa 90 video, obviously. We love all of the Derby Day content that they do over here. So I'm excited to check this out. Let's go.
In a region of Spain where temperatures soar the highest is a city where the people party like nowhere else.
Really?
And the local derby is without doubt the fiercest.
The fiercest, okay.
This is Derby Days Sevilla.
Andalusia. Is that the province?
I think it's fair to say that the southern Spanish region of Andalusia has played a pretty significant role in the country's footballing history, hosting some of its most important moments. In 1889, it was the birthplace of the first ever club. In 1890, it hosted the first ever official match. And in 1915, it hosted the first ever Seville derby between Sevilla FC and Real Betis Balompié. 7 goals were scored, the lead changed multiple times, and then at 4-3, an all-out riot suspended the game. In the last 100 years, the derby hasn't changed a single bit.
So the derby's between Real Betis?
But before we get to all of that, let's touch on where it started. So it begins all the way back in 1890.
Wait, can I just say, man, one thing I love about these football crests, I love the way they look. This like old school, like look to them, these historical looks, these emperor king looks, whatever you want to call it, man, monarchs. I don't like monarchies. Let me just clarify that, but I do think that so many of these crests in all of these different regions of the world, they look so good, bro.
So it begins all the way back in 1890 when a group of Englishmen, Scotsmen and local Spanish decide to establish a team for the city. Only a couple of months after that, they take on fellow Andalusians Recreativo Huelva in a match many Spanish historians consider the first game in the country. Sevilla win 2-0, so technically become the first ever victors in Spanish club football. And then it's a decade and a half after that that they are officially recognized as Sevilla FC. However, only a few years after that, things turn sour, allegedly due to a dispute that develops over whether or not to sign a player from the working class Triana neighborhood. 2 directors, so incensed over the issue, decide to walk out of the club and start their own. They wanted to be completely different, so while Seville had international roots, they would stand for Andalusia and Spain. First, their kit, which was green and white in reference to the Andalusian flag. Then their name, Betty, in reference to the Roman term for Andalusia. And then they would merge with a team who didn't even call football football, but stuck to the strict Spanish name.
Ball, balón, foot is pie. Balón, pie is football.
And so at 1914, the 2 forces merged and Real Betis Balompié was formed, alongside 100 years of derby madness.
Flying.
You know what was the Real Betis video that we watched? That wasn't against Sevilla, was it? What club was that against? Because I feel like I should know this just based off of that video alone. I might double check back and see, because I can't remember actually.
But before we get to all of that again, let's touch on why it started. Now, the popular narrative behind this rivalry is your classic class divide. In this case, it's the working class Beticos from the former gypsy neighborhood of Triana up against the bourgeois Sevillistas from the upper class Nervion district.
Seville as a club is a very conservative club, and Betis as a club is a much more...
Club de la gente humilde, de la gente trabajadora.
However, when you speak to the red side of this city, they tell a very different story.
Los ricos de corazón. Yo estoy trabajando 24 horas al día.
No, eso es una simplificación absurda y que se han inventado los propios béticos como para justificar su fracaso, es decir.
Yo soy sevillista con dinero y sin dinero.
There is not the high class and the working class in the city.
Your stadium is in Nervion. It's very rich.
No, but it wasn't. It was the outskirts of Sevilla when Sevilla came here.
The Betis one?
The Betis Stadium now is in Heliópolis.
That's a poor area.
No, definitely not. It's a very rich area. This is in the Avenue of La Palmera, which is full of old pavilions, those buildings.
Look at that.
In French, they call them hotel, okay?
And you cross over the river and you go to the stadium and think, these houses look a bit nice, this area looks a bit smart, is this really Real Betis? And of course it brings you back to that thing that always happens, that there's a million nuances to all of these identities.
However, the green side of this city see it very differently, and they point to history to prove it.
There was a Sevilla fan who ran the city council, and when they were building the trains, he stopped them in Triana. So then the Betis fans had to walk from Triana to the stadium.
Oh my God.
30 minutes.
When you speak to both sets of fans, you realize the rich versus poor narrative, it's honestly up for interpretation. However, where a distinct split in this rivalry can be found is on the pitch, in the modern era at least, where Seville have left their green and white neighbours in the shadows.
You know, that is what we learned about Real Betis.
We're talking about a side that's been successful in Europe, a side that's been very close to win the league title, a side that's won the Copa del Rey, a side that's won European Super Cups. 8 of the last 10 derbies have been won by Sevilla.
Seville is, in the moment, better than Betis. So, in the match...
But you're Betis. Do you admit this?
Yeah, because it's a fact. It's a fact. It's a reality. It's a side that has basically lorded it over Betis for quite a long time.
Your most important rival gets an European trophy for the first time. The first in this city, the first in Andalusia.
And then a second.
And then the second in
and
Europe.
And a third.
Third, a fourth, a fifth times winner in the Europa League.
How much did that kill you personally?
You get accustomed to that.
3 Europa Leagues in a row, 5 in the last 10 years. Half of the last 10 Europa Leagues have been won by Sevilla.
It's tough. It's really tough.
Possibly even Sevilla fans perhaps don't fully appreciate that they're living through Sevilla's golden age. This is the best era in their history.
Sevilla's won the title.
Wait, I'm sorry. This is just so I can remember this correctly. The Europa League is the second under the Champions League, correct? Wait, let me double check this. Okay, yeah, it's the second tier. Okay, that's what I thought. You know what? For a hot second, I'm thinking like Champions League. Like, I don't think I've ever heard of this club winning like the Champions League, to my knowledge, from all the stuff that I've watched over the last few months. But yeah, that's the second tier of competition. Got it. I have to remember that. There's so many.
Sevilla's golden age. This is the best era in their history.
Sevilla's won the title.
Because you know what? They are the funny team, the funny club, the funny hooligan, the funny support. And
Betis is more like an elevator, you know? It's always on the first division and the second.
But if you think this lack of success has affected Betis support in any way, you're kidding yourself.
Oh, we know how deep it gets over here with Real Betis. We've seen it.
Una gran afición. Yo creo que posiblemente una de las mejores aficiones de España.
Once you feel that level of involvement in it, then there's no going back. They say man que pierda, which means even more when we lose.
I like the you'll never walk alone.
And that's the way the fans feel.
I love that, honestly.
Hay una canción que dice: No hay título más grande que llevarte dentro de mi corazón.
We know how deep this gets.
Aunque esté en segunda división, el campo se llena y vienen 45.000 o 50.000 personas.
And Betis has made a real virtue of kind of craziness.
Lo que sea, Betis siempre corazón, desde que nace por el coño de tu mujer. Betis,
They've made a real virtue of being a bit odd.
Grande Betis, te quiero Betis, aunque mande a tercera a la Serie B.
One of the Spanish TV shows catches the son sitting at Betis, and he's sitting in his seat, and in the seat next to him he's got a milk carton. And he said, "What's that?" And he said, "That milk carton, that's my dad." He said, "What do you mean it's my dad?" He says, "It's the ashes of my dad in it. It's his season ticket. I'm still bringing him to the games."
That's not to say Sevilla are lacking in any support of their own.
That's insane. We heard about that.
Go home. The people go home.
No, that's not. That's not in that way. No.
Obviously, we are more ambitious.
They have the fame of being very passionate, but I think Sevilla Football Club supporters are the most dedicated supporters of a team in Spain.
Por eso siempre están abajo.
Really?
No son exigentes. Eso de banquepierda, eso de triste.
Hay un ambiente entre jocoso, divertido.
No le eche cuenta porque han bebido.
Don't listen to them, they've been drinking.
But the immense majority of them will say that this is about winding each other up in a kind of comic way. Admittedly, that doesn't always end well.
All of which makes you realise this rivalry, with or without a title or a class divide, was always going to be mad, just mad. But before we get to all of that, let's touch. No, I'm fucking with you. Let's get to it. On the pitch, it's always a mess.
Yeah, it gets kind of rough on the pitch.
Every derby, there are 2 or 3 players with an injury.
And they'll talk about players having arte. It's all about the art.
Red cards were very common.
And yet you've also got, when it comes to it, art, bang.
Dani Ceballos, now Real Madrid player, was targeted in his first derby. All the centre backs were for him, to tackle him, and he got injured.
Off the pitch, it's been arguably worse.
Well, there were some episodes that...
There's a violent streak.
It would be better not to mention.
There was a pitch battle between fans and police outside of the Betis Stadium.
I hear bar stools are banned on match days. Have you heard about this?
Bar stools?
Bar stools were banned, but do you remember a very famous one of the guy on crutches? And then he sets about a security guard beating him up with his crutches. Now, I'm not laughing at that, obviously, because it was pretty nasty, but that's happened, yeah.
In the skyscraper on the Torre Peggi, when they built that, the guys who were working on the high steel famously...
Sealed on the top of the building, Betis badge. He uploaded the video to YouTube, and he got fired.
But because this is such an intrinsically Seville thing to happen, it's such a normal thing to happen that they had to be reinstated in their job.
Oh, these guys are mental. Just wait.
No, because it's not. The thing is, this isn't mental. From their point of view, this is entirely rational.
Como aquí decimos, hay mucha guasa.
So there is this kind of idea of guasa. This idea of it being funny, this idea of having a sense of humour and getting one over on each other.
They live it in every interaction with every person that they meet.
And then there's the moments when on the pitch met off the pitch.
This is just what we don't want to see, kids.
Manuel Pérez, el terrible.
Damn, Perez, the terrible.
Navajazo en el glúteo.
Oh my God.
De un aficionado del Real Betis.
What?
1918.
They're stabbing each other in 1918.
In the early 2000s, there was a derby in Ramon Sánchez Pizjuán where Tony Prats, Real Betis goalkeeper, was attacked by a fan with a lighter.
Lighter, you almost expect lighters, or at least in those days.
Eso era para que el portero se asustase. Ya está.
It was just to scare him?
No pasa nada.
He went on the pitch.
Did he get him, or was it avoided?
Yes, but from behind.
Hubo un derbi en el campo del Sevilla y al portero del Sevilla, a Super Paco, le tiraron una cornamenta de toro.
Ah, bueno.
Bullhorns?
Eso sí.
Eso es muy grave, aquí cuerno, eso
Eso
chungo.
sí.
On the Ramos incident, I was there.
Eso es una puta locura, tío.
It was the Sevilla Betis Cup match.
Eso sí es crazy, tío. Eso es una locura, tío.
I think it was a quarter-final.
Well, one day Ramos gets knocked out by a bottle of water thrown at him.
I heard it was a bottle of Coke.
So it may well be a bottle of Coke, but the key thing isn't so much the bottle or indeed the contents as the state the contents were in. It was frozen. So you imagine how hard that thing is.
Oh my days. Hold on, why do they have a frozen...
Well, it's probably hot in Seville. I mean, you know.
I don't think anybody expected the bottle thrown from that far back from the stand.
Then he's knocked out.
Yeah, he was out cold, quite literally.
He didn't seem to suffer any particular. I'm not condoning that. Was, you know,
Then the ambulance rocks up and they attack the ambulance.
Yeah.
I think the people suspected there was a lot of play acting involved.
I've heard rumours they were singing "Die Ramos Die."
Almost certainly.
Entró por la puerta y se fue por la puerta, ¿no? ¿Qué pasó? Yo no vi nada.
That's
this is
insane.
a bad thing for Betis.
No, Juan de Ramos que vino, se jugó un partido, nos fuimos todos contentos, ¿no?
But to understand the true madness of this derby, the city and its people, you need to turn your gaze to the director's box.
Okay, wait a minute, man. We gotta talk about this. It's so funny to me whenever I think back to like how rowdy things can get down here in the U.S. during certain like rivalry matches or whatever. And then it happens every time I react to something that's happened in Europe or in, you know, Spain. I react to something like this, and I'm like, it can literally always be way harsher than anything we've ever had up here. Oh my God, you guys are insane. I love it.
People, you need to turn your gaze to the director's box.
I love it. I love it so much.
Let's look to the director's box. So explain in the simplest terms, almost like I want to paint this, I want to split the screen. So you've got, during its worst times,
You've had Lopero at Betis, and on the other side you've had Del Nido at Sevilla. I remember Del Nido once saying, "I'm the most important man in Seville after the Pope." I'm actually quite surprised he put the Pope ahead of him. And Lopero renames Betis' stadium after who he believes is the most important man in Betis' history, the most important man in the whole of the city of Seville. Himself.
It was a ridiculous rivalry. Lopera didn't even said Del Nido's name. he called him Benavente, who is his second last name.
There's this kind of classic winding of each other up, even in the director's box.
It was crazy.
And there used to be a bust of Lopera in the director's box at Betis, which was deliberately put right next to the seat of the Sevilla president, so that you'd have to sit next to the bust of Lopera.
It was kind of provocation.
So Donildo is sitting next to the bust of Lopera. He decides he doesn't quite like the idea of this, tries to move.
And then he gets in a fight with Lopera's cousin?
Yes, that's right. It actually literally ends in fisticuffs in a director's box.
It was. One of them tumbles down the stairs.
Yes, and I believe the bust might even have fallen off its pedestal.
Oh, amazing. Who was worse, Danilo or Lopera? Who was crazier?
Danilo, robar.
He was a robber.
Del Nido es un dios, es jefe supremo.
Del Nido es un chorizo, pero el Lopera hizo el Betis grande.
And Lopera was kind of money wasting, absolutely crazy, and he used to pick up stray dogs. That's not a euphemism, by the way.
Could you ask about
What does that even mean?
The last president about Seville?
No, that's not the reason. That's not the reason. The reason was he was apart from football.
Where is your ex-president? Come on, tell me. Where is in prison?
Danilo actually just got out of jail.
But a derby this emotional and dramatic shouldn't really be a surprise when you consider that Seville is a city so hot they call it the frying pan of Spain. And these people like to party so much. It's also known as the city of 1,000 fiestas, making it perfect for this kind of rivalry.
There is something about Andalusia that feels like it is kind of the heart of that idea of Spain. Expressive, and everything is externalized.
Yeah, this city is
and everything
beautiful.
is celebrated and everything is sung. And I think you can almost define it by saying Andalusia is a place that takes having fun, takes it very, very seriously. And I think that gets transported onto football because in a way, it's a way of life. And so football becomes part of that. And this is the most passionate derby in Spain. Why? Because it's the most passionate city in Spain. That's basically why. There's nothing like the Sevilla derby. You ask Spanish fans, even fans of other clubs, will look at Seville and Betis and admit, yeah, that's the derby of Spain.
Do you guys agree with that? Really, really curious to hear that. Do you guys agree that that Seville is the most passionate city and this derby is the most passionate one in Spain? Actually, I just looked at the standings really quick. It looks like Real Betis are above Sevilla too. It looks like Real Betis actually just beat Sevilla. That's funny, but this video is like 7, 8 years old, so. Match day.
Here we go, Derby Day in Seville. Perhaps the most anticipated match day for the entire series, because this derby, I've been told since our first ever Derby Days episode, Barcelona versus Real Madrid, is the derby to attend. Today happens to be Dia de Reyes, the day of the Three Kings, Spain's Christmas. So until everyone hands out their presents, we don't really have much to do but to lurch around the city.
Wait, what's this holiday called? Never heard of it before.
The derby to attend. Today happens to be Dia de Reyes, the day of the Three Kings, Spain's Christmas. So until everyone hands out their presents, we don't really have much to do but to lurch around the city. Luckily, in an hour or two, Bitis Norte, Seville's ultras, have invited us to be part of their preparations for the unveiling of their tifo for this match. But besides that, we just got to wait for the festive vibes to die down and the derby vibes to kick in. Betis, Seville, everyone's been talking about you. Show us why.
This is gonna be crazy. So I wanted to make sure I heard that right. So yeah, it's funny because they keep saying Seville and Betis in the same sentence, but one team's Sevilla and they're all from Seville. Every time that's said, it just kind of throws me off a little bit, but yeah, nothing. That was a nothing burger when I just said ignore me.
2 hours to go, we have just gone to the Sanchez Pith one, and the vibe is very different.
You guys are absolutely insane. I love it, man. Oh my god.
But they merged together.
I gotta imagine being a horse in this is terrifying.
It's gone mad, just mad.
It's gone mad, just mad. And the fact this is all in support of them is crazy. I mean, wow, this is absurd. Once again, the cinematography is unbelievable. Good God Almighty, man. I just thought about it. Is it illegal to actually film like pitches like during these kind of videos? I say that because I know that a majority of the Copa 90 videos aim to capture the ambience of the energy of the crowd, but I've always noticed that they don't really film too much of the pitch. Is that like against the rules? And is what I did in Columbus and Cincinnati considered legal? I think about that. It's Real Betis putting up a fight. This is what, 2018? Two at half is crazy.
Betis with 2 shots off the post. A minute into the second half.
Look at this shit, man.
I don't know what to say. No one saw this coming. It's 4-2 to Betis. Betis were dreaming of a draw.
And Sevilla fans are kind of quiet. Okay, wait. Hold on. 4-3, 3-4.
This is insane. We've never had 7 goals.
This is actually crazy.
15 minutes to go, and the time wasting started on Betis' half, and yeah, the feelings are coming out. It's only going to get worse. You don't need to put it now. They just announced 5 minutes of extra time. Tension is insane. Seville cannot lose. The keeper's gone up. Fuck.
Wait a minute. If you guys hear a low ringing in the background, I'm just gonna avoid talking, but my fire alarm in my building is going off, but we got a video to finish, so let's go. It keeps throwing me off when he says Seville has to win when like the name of the city, you know, the capital is Seville. Like, it keeps throwing me off because I know he's talking about Sevilla, like the actual team, but it keeps throwing me off a little bit.
The keeper's gone up. Fuck.
Oh, that dude right here at the bottom is pissed. I love how the security guards just don't care.
Right, that right there, I'm sorry, I'm a bit confused. That didn't make any sense. You're telling me the team that's in the Champions League knockout stages, the team that's won 3 Europa Leagues in the last decade, the team that hasn't lost the derby in the last half decade, more than a half decade, scores 3 goals at home and loses against a side who loses so much, they sing, they chant about losing? It doesn't make sense. And that's how a good derby should be. from the chaotic anarchy amongst the bus with the Seville fans, arguably the best pre-match scenes we've ever been part of, to the feeling like anything was about to happen the second the sun went down. But I guess that's why they call this derby El Gran Derby. I guess that's why this is the rivalry everyone said I had to experience, and I guess that's why they say El Clasico has nothing on what goes on in here. Seville, Betty, what you guys have going on here, it's incredible. Not that this is any news to you, of course, as you've been living it 24/7 for the past 100 years, and for the sake of Spanish football, here's to 100 more. That's it for this series of Derby Days. If you missed any of the other episodes across Spain, you can find them in the link in the description or on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe to Copper 90 and let us know in the comment section what you thought of the latest series and where you'd like to see Derby Days go next.
Yeah, make sure you guys go check out Copper 90 for this. What is this? I love this YouTube channel so much. So I did a quick Google search. So you can apparently refer to Seville as Sevilla or Seville. So I'm going to assume it's probably the same for the football club as well. At least that's what it says on Wikipedia anyway. On Wikipedia, it says the city of Seville is also referred to as Sevilla. So I guess it could be either or. Whenever he's talking about Seville, he's talking about the football team, not the city. So I am going to have to keep the outro short because I've got a blaring fire alarm in the background. But I love watching these Derby Day videos from Copa 90, man. I just love seeing these different sides of the world, seeing what kind of chaos goes on, man. And I'm learning more about, the Spanish football tier or structure because I don't know why. I'm really addicted to learning about Spanish football. I don't know. Maybe it's because they use a language I don't speak. They have a culture I've never experienced. There's something that's so interesting to me about Spanish football. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you thought about this reaction in the comments down below and by hitting that subscribe button. Do you guys think that this is by far the biggest Spanish derby out there in Spain? Do you think it's bigger than the El Clasico? I feel like the El Clasico might have had a bit of a resurgence with all the drama that happened this year. So I have to wait and see, man. But I love seeing all this passion. I love seeing all this chaos. And I'm going to keep reacting to some more of these Derby Day videos from Copa 90. So make sure you go check out the original video, which I'll leave a link for in the description down below. And hey, this has been your boy Jay with another reaction. Hope to catch you in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.